Trophy champion, enter the dragon, Junhui. And it's always an honour to introduce one of the game's most naturally gifted players, twice world and reigning Masters champion, the Rocket, Ronnie O'Sullivan! And now to one of the most gifted players to emerge from Northern Ireland. Will you welcome Crucible debutant and former world amateur champion, Eagle Eye Mark Allen. And this world #2 has remained one of the game's elite for many years. Your appreciation for the former world champion, the darling of Dublin, Ken Doherty!
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Frame 10. Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
Well, you would think so, Hazel, but the old game of snooker never ceases to amaze me, so you just never know. So Ronnie O'Sullivan breaks off with the looped bridge hand. He's broke off like that quite a few times, and well, Junhui has got a half chance. Playing for a little bit of pride now, you would feel. Not the start that Ding wanted. He just never got going yesterday, and it seemed as if he more or less had given in after 3-4 frames. But does that quite a bit. It's a bit like an old pool bridge, the way Paul Newman used to play in the Hustler, Willie.
Yes, he's always experimenting, Ronnie, isn't he? Now, apparently he feels he's going to kind of swing the cue ball a little bit wider playing that, because he's cueing down a little bit higher. But he didn't play the best of break-offs. Luckily for him, Junhui missed the opening red, and has left Ronnie this easy opening chance to get a few points on the board.
Success rate, I mean, Ronnie O'Sullivan 95%, that's terrific, but 81% for Ding. You never stop learning in the game of snooker, and the young Chinese player will have learned a lot here at the Crucible this year.
7.
Yes, to compete in any match at this standard, you've got to have a success rate of at least 89–90% at least to be even involved in the game. And there's another prime example of what a lot of players don't do, the top players
12.
do, and that is go into the pack even though there's loose reds around. Because the black's slightly out of commission, he purposely played that to try and bring the pink into play. Unfortunately for him, it's just gone a little bit safe, but the black is now available.
13.
Well, I don't know whether he got a heavy contact or just didn't cue that, but he didn't bring the white back. You could hear the groan from Ronnie after that shot. So he's only going to score a few points from this chance. He won't take anything for granted. Ronnie O'Sullivan. He'll want to finish this match off as quickly as he possibly can.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 13.
Don't know if he got a slight kick there, but this is Hawkeye shows you what he was hoping to do, and now he'd have been perfectly on the black and would have nudged the other reds into play. He's some player, Willie, this Hawkeye, isn't he?
He's never missed a shot all week. I'm going to have a few quid on him next year.
Well, then he would lose, Willie. Now that's a bit more like Ding.
1.
It would be nice if we could knock in a sizable break here, because there's an awful lot of people watching this young man around the world, and he hasn't really showed anything against Ronnie, so come on, Ding, let's see a sizable break here.
Strange name, Ding, Dennis. Where do you think he got his name from? It's not a regular Chinese name, is it?
You've got me there, Willie. You'll have to ask me one on sport, I think.
5. Thank you. 6.
He's had breaks of 33, 45 and 103 and still only got one frame on the board, so
14.
it just shows you what you need to score against the likes of O'Sullivan to win frames. 70 or above at least.
$90. $20.
The two reds are still a bit awkward near the black. That's what Ding is thinking about at the moment, but he hasn't got a good angle on the blue here. He's almost straight. Ah, clever. Very clever. I don't think the audience appreciated that positional shot. He did play it off the knuckle of the pocket.
26.
Because he hadn't got any angle on the blue, and screwing back and catching the jaw of the pocket. That was perfect judgment there.
Yeah, not cueing at his best, because once again he's finished straight on the blue again. He's going to have to play the more difficult green. Made to look very easy though. Well, I think Dennis mentioned these two reds weren't available, so he's definitely overran that. That's end of break. Just a safety.
Yeah, he wanted to be somewhere around the circle there and just overhit it.
Ding Junhui, 29.
This is Hawkeye, you see, and Dennis put a circle up on the table, and that's exactly where it would have been if he'd have played it properly. And this is what he did, of course. He may have got a slightly bigger bounce off the cushion than he would have expected. You can see there halfway he stopped in his tracks because he knew he'd overhit it. Played a good safety though. He hasn't looked happy in this match at all, Ding Junhui. Doesn't have to do a lot with the cue ball here, because if he does pot it, he'll naturally go around the back of the black. This could be a frame winner, this one, because if it goes in, it should be on yellow or brown. He's actually playing to screw it in, so he's going to come a little bit wider. Thought he could have played that plain ball, which would have made the pot a lot easier.
Too thin. Another good chance for Ding. There's a few matches been won from 8-1 behind. Final of the Masters. I'm sure he's watching this afternoon. Mike Hallett won't want to hear about it, but he led Stephen Hendry 8-1 and lost that final. Well, 8-1 up and finished losing 10-9. Might have got that wrong. Well, the Masters was pushed to 9, was it back then? I think it was 9. Yeah, 8-1 and 1-9-8.
We mentioned it yesterday in commentary, the greatest comeback here at the Crucible, which is a kind of comeback that Ding Junhui needs. Nigel Bond was 9-2 behind against Thorburn and won 10-9. This is the kind of thing that Ding Junhui is facing. The key thing here is obviously he's got to win all the 4 frames of this first mini session, and that will be in his mind. If he can get back to 8-5, it may make Ronnie kind of get a little bit twitchy. But any other scoreline at the interval,
14.
If Ronnie just wins 1 of the 4, it's virtually impossible for Ding to win, I would think. So it has to win all 4.
$21. $22. $29.
There's a difference, 45, so the red and the black, and it would be a second frame.
30.
And I'm glad he's won this frame. He looks a bit more relaxed today, probably. Just a little bit of noise from the other side of the arena. Frame just finished.
37.
And some applause from this side of the arena, because they know that Ding has more or less secured this opening frame of this session. So well done, Ding.
$38. $45. $45 and a frame. Ding Junhui.
Yes, it's just the start that the young Chinese sensation was looking for. He's got a long, long way to go, but at least he's made the start, and it's 8-2 to Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Frame 11. Ding Junhui to break.
Ding Junhui obviously won the opening frame, but it wasn't until he had at least 2 chances. Ronnie O'Sullivan will be disappointed to have missed the couple of chances he had. We know he's in great form. Never gave Ding a chance yesterday. I know that Ding didn't play great, but Ronnie gave every shot 110% concentration, which sometimes, as we know, he doesn't do. But when he's in this kind of frame of mind, he is very tough to beat.
Fortuitous cannon that was on the brown to finish in behind the yellow. Is that going to reach? Just. But he looked very relaxed yesterday, Ronnie. Very focused. But he did last year here. For the first week he was in terrific form and great spirits around the venue, but 17 days is a long time to concentrate, and in the second week Ronnie wasn't quite the same person. I'm sure he's come here with the intention of lifting the world title again. He'd like to start and make some sort of inroad into the records that are held here.
Is your door closed? Can you just check, Trish?
It's not the commentator's door they're asking for. There's a camera booth next door, and I think
they still have to.
And you can hear the clicking of the cameras, I think, that are when he's playing the shot.
Okay.
He's asking Jan Verhaast just to go and have a word with him, but he looks very relaxed about it all. But I was just mentioning about the records that he should be trying to set. 6 times world champion.
Because it's every time when he's on the shot, he gets.
There's the photographers that's in the booth.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
Talk about records, Dennis. He actually broke a record last year. I think it's the most tips a player has ever had on at the Crucible. I think it was about 20 changes of tip he had last year.
I think that's a record that'll stand for all time. Yeah, those records I was talking about, Steve Davis 6 world titles, Ray Reardon 6 world titles. But if I was Ronnie O'Sullivan, I'd be trying to get to Stephen Hendry's 7 world titles. That's some record. In fact, he might even make it 8 this year because he's in pretty good form, Willie.
There's no easy avenue back to balk here, so he may be forced into taking this long red on. He'd be reluctant to do so unless he can play as a shot to nothing. He thinks he's found a little gap he can play, but looking at it at first glance, there's not much room. He may be playing the pot, but he's going to have to screw this in to miss the cannon on the 4 reds around the black spot. Yeah, good shot. Didn't play the pot, just played it thicker to create the angle for the safety.
Oh, this will be interesting to see, because yesterday Ding would have had a go at the red that's to the left of the blue. He might still have to, because there's not a lot else available to him. There's no easy safety, so he might have to take this pot on. Let's see how close he gets to this one. That's okay. That was intended. Made sure he got the white back.
Problem with the half ball safety off the left hand side, really, is an offside. That's why he's reluctant to play safe off that red. This could go wrong, because he's going to have to hit it quite thin to get through the gap and leave the cue ball where it is now. That's what he's playing to do. Has he caught the jaw? Just dead. Needs a bit of luck here. This is potable.
The black may not go, but I think he can possibly get onto the pink for the middle, just looking at it. I don't know if he's got the angle to pot the red, and if he got out into the circle or somewhere near that, I think the pink would go. If the black would pass the red, that would be a bonus. Well, that's turned out to perfection, because the pink goes in the corner also.
With the pink being
7.
pink spot being covered, he's purposely left this cup. We know the pink will pot in the left-hand corner, but I don't think he can hit this red slow enough for that. So he'll be going up for maybe a play for the blue, but if not, certainly the yellow and green are available. So doesn't really have to do too much with the cue ball here. Yes, he's played it slow enough to hold for the blue.
8.
That last pot released the black, because the black wasn't available into either corner, but taking the red that he did has freed the black for the right corner. That's a few shots ahead. Got to negotiate this first. And from this side of the table, pink should be able to pot.
40.
And, well, a little nudge now. We'll clear the black spot area, because the pink will keep coming back onto that. So even if he ties the black up, it's not all that bad, as long as he clears that red away.
He wasn't happy with the position he left himself here. I think he's virtually straight on this red, and if it is straight, he may be reluctant to play it. He was looking at the one along the cushion and kissing the red just down the black. He's decided to come and play the straight one. Can he screw back and half ball kiss off the red and try and get on the pink? I don't think the black's available, so he may have to screw back and try and either cannon into the red or the black and bring them into play. Yeah, he tried that and it hasn't worked.
21.
Does still pot, but it's very tough.
Well, this is a thin one. And the white's going to hit the red and possibly the bunch as well, so he's got to get this. No. Just caught the near cushion.
Junhui, 21.
It's not an easy chance yet for Ronnie O'Sullivan. Easy opener and no problem in position, but the rest are all tied up. And he may take the black and go straight into the 6 reds here. It looks easy, but you've got to play this with a lot of right-hand side and make sure that you judge the cannon. And with the black being right over the pocket, not easy, but that's what he'll be looking for. Never easy to judge that. So he's just going to get 8 from that chance.
Ronnie O'Sullivan 8.
There's our friend that comes to the Crucible. He's pretty close to the table, but he's got a terrific view with those binoculars. Might even be able to see through the screen and watch the other table, possibly.
1. Six. 7.
This is the one. If he gets a nice kiss here, it gives him an opportunity to win the frame. That's turned out okay because he didn't stun. This is the
14.
angle we saw from the overhead camera there. It's perfect, isn't it? Choice of reds here, one in the middle or the one in the corner. If he plays the one in the corner, it tells me that the black's probably available in the same pocket. Yes, it is.
15.
Didn't look like it from that position, did it? Chance to go one away from the winning post here.
$22. 23. 30.
17 the difference. Not looking good for Ding here because
Spots it again.
if he's 9-2 up, there's nowhere back then. You always feel when your opponent needs 2 frames that you're still in with a bit of a chance.
31. 38. 39. 45.
2 more reds and colours.
46.
So he won't be playing to move one of the reds. He'll just play for the loose red because that's firstly frame ball. Just glancing at the scoreboard. Always got to be aware of that, of course. Another glance will tell him he's 39 in front.
52.
Just red and colour.
53. 'Again. Yeah.
Yeah, the photographers
Can you
again.
just come with me to the back?
I think if they wait till he plays the shot and then clicks, it's okay. It's a bit when you're at the golf tournament. If it clicked before the
last
player
time now,
takes
okay,
his
otherwise I have
backswing.
to empty this a little. Just, well, take your photograph after he's played the shot, not while he's addressing the cue ball, because it's in his head now that you're going to click. So I don't want any discussion about it. I just want you to do it after the shot.
Yeah. All they're asking is to click the camera after the shot, not before you cue the ball, and that's what Jan was telling the photographers there. And that is virtually the frame safe.
59. That's
the kind of shot that O'Sullivan seems to play a lot better than most of the players. The ball's along the cushion. He's very, very proficient at that shot.
66. 67.
Can make, of course, exactly 100 now if in taking the pink. Beautiful shot.
73. 75. 78. 82.
We've had 9 centuries so far at the Crucible this year. Ronnie's had 1 in this match. And White's got to run a bit if he's going to have another. It's not going to reach.
Well, what a shame, no century from O'Sullivan, but it did the important thing, scored enough points to win the frame at 1 visit. Things Junhui now trails by 9 frames to 2. There's a couple of things you noticed, Dennis, with Hawkeye, and you can explain a shot that Ronnie had early on in the frame.
Yeah, he went on to make that break and win it, but this situation here, I think I mentioned at the time, the black's so close to the pocket, he's got to play it with the right hand side and try and swing it into the pack. Now, this is what he played. We can show you the shot he played, and got a little bit too much side and a little bit of stun probably, but good old Hawkeye will show you, and we can swing it right round, and we'll show you where he was hitting the white to get that little bit of right hand side, just somewhere around there, just to swing it off the cushion when he potted the black into the bunch. And if he had have executed the shot as he intended, that's what would have happened, and he would have been right in from that position, but he still clinched the frame when he got the chance.
Thanks. Frame 12, Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
Well, there's normally an interval after 4 frames of a session. Are we going to get to that interval? Ronnie just needs 1 frame to get through to the last 16.
Little bit of a result there. I know there's a red, as we see Ronnie play the shot there. There's a red available into the middle, but it would have been a lot easier to play one to the corner. But black spot is free, so if he does pot this and get onto blue or bought colour, there's plenty of chance for Ding to score quite heavily here. And Dennis not throwing the towel in. He's still giving it 110%. I suppose there's also a chance of getting the highest break, Dennis, isn't there? That comes to a few pounds, so there's still a chance if you can make about a 140 or something, you could win the high break.
Six.
Very disappointed there. Played the cannon.
13.
The cue ball's just run through that extra half an inch. He's just played to nudge into that red, you see, to leave the one in the right hand corner. It's just pushed through the white.
Junhui, 13.
Good length of cue ball. This is the cannon he played, you see, and it just pushed through the gap there. You would have seen it been absolutely perfect should it have worked. In fairness, it was a poor shot because it was a straightforward kiss, but a little unlucky to go touching ball.
Well, that last safety shot has pushed the black a little bit awkward. Thing has got a long red into the left corner. It looks to be almost straight. A little bit of angle to work with. Where's that red going to finish? It looks like over the middle pocket. And that's the sort of thing that happens when you're struggling for a bit of form. Loss of confidence. When you do have a go, that's the sort of thing that happens. When you're playing well and you take a risky one, you normally get away with it.
One. Six. Seven. 13. 14. 20. 21.
Ronnie purposely playing for this red here because it of course frees the red at the back of the bunch here, and
27.
he'll be 2 shots away before he goes into them. If he gets a nice angle on the pink, even though he's got the loose red, he'll go into them, because if he hits the joint of the loose red in the pack, they'll split perfectly.
28.
It's not a great pack if he gets rid of the loose red. I think the one may pot past the black quite comfortably. So this is a chance of frame and match.
34. 35.
Just see how he leaves an angle on the red there, the loose red, after potting this pink. So he's purposely left an angle so that he can pot this and go into the
41.
reds.
42.
Could have been better. He thought he was going to open all the reds up. It just seemed to stick on them there and just freed 2. Well, he only hit the 1 red. That's why it finished up as it did. And this is where the left hand is so useful. And he could
44.
Well, he'll use the rest, but he could use his left hand again for the one into the right corner. I mean, here we go again. I mean, he just looks the same with his left hand as he does with his right. I mean, that's sensational. Not 45. So much the pot. Look what he did with the white. Left the perfect angle on the pink to go into the 4 reds. I mean, what an asset that is.
Okay.
And this is key to the match. If this works out, it's all over. And I'm sure Ding, well, he looks a bit fed up there, but he'll have learned so much from his first visit to the Crucible Theatre. He is a future world champion. Now, does that red pass?
51.
If the red passes the other 2, it's end of match.
$52.
Yes, and his pot success rate is still at 95%, which is quite remarkable over 12 frames. He's going to be a handful for most players. He always is, but when he's in this frame of mind, he's going to be a tough man to beat. Got one of the toughest draws though, Dennis, hasn't he, in the tournament? It's not going to be an easy draw.
Well, his first round draw, everyone thought
59
was going to be so difficult for him. It hasn't materialized. Unfortunately, we're all expecting a very close match, but Ronnie has been sensational. Ding never really got going in the first session, and he'll be back many more times 65. At the Crucible, but for this year it's the end for the young Chinese sensation. But he's great for the game 66. Of snooker, really, and great for snooker around the world. Well, a very fast bounce 72. Off the cushion, but Ronnie won't be too disappointed, I don't think, with that. It's going to stop him from possibly finishing with a century break. It's been all one-way traffic. Be interesting to hear what Ronnie has to say about the match afterwards in his interview. Nearly pulled it off, but not quite.
Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Ding Junhui comes forward. A nice little smile from Ding. That's good to see. And congratulates Ronnie O'Sullivan. What a start to this year's World Championship for Ronnie O'Sullivan. An emphatic victory, 10 frames to 2. And didn't the crowd enjoy that one?